says I'm live. Oh, hello, you lovely lot. Hope you're doing well. I'm just going to double check that this is working over on my second screen. Because it'd be terrible if I sat here and spoke for ages and it didn't actually work. It would not be the first time that I've done that. It is working. There it is. Oh, fab. Happy New Year. I mean, are we saying Happy New Year? Is it really a Happy New Year? It's definitely a new year. Let's just leave it at that, I think. But I hope you're well. I hope you're happy. Thanks for joining me. Brilliant. There are 3 people here. Oh, hello, everybody. It just says Facebook user on StreamYard. If you want to add your names, you just need to pop. There's Jill. Lovely Jill. Look, she's watching. Look. Oh, I've worked out the technology. Anyway, it's the little things, isn't it? Right, focus. So this is, of course, day 1 of the Business Boost Challenge. Congratulations on joining me to watch. Flipping heck, there's 13 of you. We've been doing this. I've been doing this about 3 years now. And every year there's more and more people. And every year it gets more and more popular. So before I start introducing what it is, and I just need to move little Freya cat because she's feeling like she wants to join in too. A bit of a disclaimer. This is a live on Facebook and you're very welcome to join us. But if you are feeling overwhelmed or you're in the middle of painful childcare, or equally if you like me feeling a bit lonely and a bit fed up and you don't want to join in with this, that's okay. Just because it's January doesn't mean that we have to do this. You can do this Business Boost Challenge whenever you like. This is being recorded and I'm going to share it in the group. If you happen to be watching this in August and you're making New Year's goals in August, fair play. If you happen to be watching it in January, brilliant. It just so happens that for me, January is a good time for me to start and build goals in my business because I'm one of those people who gets excited about a new year. You may not be one of those people, and that is okay. And you might want to come and revisit this at a different time. So don't put pressure on yourself to do this challenge today or even this week. The world is a little bit upside down. It is a bit crazy. So if you just can't cope with it, that is okay. It's not compulsory. You don't have to do it. Your new year can be whenever you like. Yes, homeschooling. Crazy. I don't know how you parents manage it at the best of times, let alone having to actually educate your children. I mean, stick in front of TV. We just used to watch Disney films for hours back in the 90s, and that was fine. I don't need an education. But I hope you are keeping sane if you are homeschooling. Right, so there's the little disclaimer. Just take a deep breath. The whole point of this Business Boost Challenge is that it is fun. I know, business, fun, who knew? So we're going to embrace this new thing where we're going to have fun and we're going to be optimistic and positive about the new year, even though it's a little bit crazy and a little bit all over the place. We're going to try our best, and it is unpredictable, but we're going to do our best. So embrace this and grab a pen. I should probably introduce myself. If we have not met, well, we probably haven't because it's been a crazy year. So we've probably not met in real life, but there is a chance that we've met online. If you've not met before, I'm Jess. It's my little name in the corner. Worked out how to do some graphics on StreamYard. I'm a graphic designer. That's my business. I also am the founder of the Milspo Business Network, which is very important to me. I'm very passionate about it. I'm very passionate about Milspos and business because I'm married to somebody in the Air Force, and I am bored of not that I see anybody anymore, but I am bored of going to meet my husband's friends and then just talking about flying. And I'm sure if you're married to somebody in the military, you probably are a little bit bored when they don't ask you if you work, or just assume that you don't. And the whole point of Milspo is to change the conversation, shake it up, become amazing business owners, to show everybody else that we can do both. We can do this crazy military life where we end up in Magnolia Married Quarters in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of a global pandemic, and we're still smiling, and we can also run businesses. So that is the plan, and I hope it works. And this is very much going to help you. So if you haven't already downloaded the workbook, my little notes on the side, then you can still do it. It is linked all over the place in the group, in the Facebook group. I would head there and find it. If you do not have it, don't panic. Grab a pen and paper. If you can't even grab a pen and paper, that's okay as well. There's no pressure. Nobody is checking your work. This is for you. This is something for you in your business. Take a break. Just maybe Yes, the village internet is just about keeping up. I have the same problem, and I'm in central London. I think the entire world is on the internet, and I think that if this is still working, then that's a bonus. So we're going to take that. But grab a pen and paper if you can, make notes on your phone. Just think about it. If you're sat in a dark room, rocking, listening to me, then that's okay as well. It's going to be fine, I promise. Right. So if you have the workbook, you will know that day one is all about reviewing 2020 and making plans for 2021. Right, I need to do some magic clicking now. I'm going to share my screen. There we go, and we'll see if that works. I might even do it like that. In fact, let's go whole hog. We don't need to see my face. We'll go whole hog, and we're going to zoom in on day one of the Business Boost Challenge, which is here. So if you do have the workbook, then you will be seeing that today we are talking about 2021. Not 2021, sorry, 2020. Now, the whole point of this, I'm going to put my face back on because this is not as exciting when you can't see me. There we go. The whole point of looking back on what horrendous year 2020 was is that it's really important in business. Is that you learn from things that have happened before to stop you doing it again and to know what things how they didn't quite work and how you might want to adapt them to use in this new year. So day one is all about reviewing 2020. Now, there's little spaces in this workbook, and I want you to spend some time now with your cup of tea. Oh, chocolate. Yes, definitely with chocolate. And a pen. I want you to write down what things you did achieve in 2020. That is the first one. Now, we may all think that 2020 was a horrendous disappointment, but you know what? There was potential there. We did a lot of stuff. If you look at the impact report, gosh, it was a good year. So write the things that you achieved in 2020, the things that were brilliant in 2020. Surviving, getting through to the end of the year counts as something that you achieved in 2020. And underneath, what worked really well in 2020 that you want to take forward into this next year. And I promise you, it can be anything that is small or you think is insignificant. It's really important that we cling on to those positive bits, especially heading into January and this new year. Okay, so I'll give you a few little minutes to do that. If you have any comments or you need any help with anything, there is I can see the comments on the right. If you want to add your name, just pop over to StreamYard. And then it does some magic technology things so I can see your name. And of course, this is being recorded as well. So do not panic if you are frantically eating chocolate in a darkened room, or in fact, the home educating your children at the same time. It's being recorded. You can watch this back. So that is the first one, writing about your 2020. I'll give you a few minutes. On page 3, which is the next page, you want to use this space to write about the challenges you faced. Now, I know that a global pandemic is pretty massive and is a big challenge. However, there's not an awful lot to learn from that. It's unprecedented. We are basically, it was a bit rubbish, wasn't it? But what you can take and pick up from that is how you adapted to it. Maybe you pivoted your business. Maybe you moved online. Maybe you took your business in a completely different direction. Maybe you even started a completely new business that you hadn't done before. Maybe you were employed before this pandemic kicked in. So around the challenges you face, don't just go, there was a global pandemic and I couldn't do this, this, and this. Try and think about specific challenges that you faced. So break that into smaller things. So having childcare problems and global pandemic, not meeting up with clients, not having your shop being open, the postal service going crazy for a little bit there. I still have Christmas cards arriving. I don't know about you, but I got 3 Christmas cards today in the post. It's just an extended Christmas. So write down the challenges you faced last year, and then underneath the lessons that you learned from that you want to take into the next year. So like I said, if you had problems with homeschooling, you can learn that business and homeschooling don't work. So therefore you might run your business in the evenings or only at weekends. Any helpful tips that you didn't realize that you had at the time that you can move into the next year that's going to make it really helpful for you in case this pandemic thing drags on for a little bit. Or generally, it doesn't have to be pandemic themed because we've all heard enough about that. just stuff that you want to, that you've learned from, that you want to take into next year. So if you have any comments, like I said, I guess you can hear me because there's 22 people watching, which is very promising. And I hope you're having fun, and I hope this is a bit of an escape, because I love this week. The Business Boost Challenge is such a fun week for me. I felt a bit rubbish this morning. I think it's just Monday morning. My husband's at work. I'm all by myself, apart from obviously the cat that will not leave me alone. And it's a bit rubbish. So, but I love the Business Boost week, so I'm hoping this is going to pick me up and I'm going to feel inspired as well. I probably should be flicking through these. Look, here we go. So we are on page 4. Let's go to that view so you can see it a bit better. So this is still your review of 2020, because we are not moving on until we have properly reviewed it and got the goodness out of it. How much revenue did you make in 2020? So that is all the money that you made from clients and customers in 2020. If it is 0, do not worry. If you don't know what this is, do not worry. You can come back to this. You want the same for the amount that you spent. So that's your expenses. What did you net? So that's basically your profit, take away your expenses. And how many new customers did you get? Some of these things you're not going to find off the top of your head, but do go and look at that, because you'd be surprised how many people do not do that. Also, if it's a negative number, if you are not making any profit, do not panic, especially if you're in year 1. Do not worry. You should definitely be breaking even, but there's a lot of investment when you first start up your business if you choose to. Just be aware of these numbers, because it gives you a good idea where you want to progress in this coming year. And the same for your social media and your client base. So your email subscribers on your email list, you want to know how many of those you started off with this year. Your Facebook, your Instagram, your LinkedIn, your YouTube, Pinterest, and Twitter. You do not have to have all of these. Oh dear God, do not have all of these social media accounts for your business, because you will go crazy. Believe me, I've tried it and I probably am. But you want to have 2 or 3 of them. You don't actually have to have any social media. I mean, you've probably got Facebook, seeing as you're talking to me in here. But you don't have to have anything. You are a grown-up and you're a business owner, and you get to choose what you want to do. Stop putting pressure on yourself to do all the things. You have permission from me, and maybe have it from yourself, not to have all these social media things. Anyway, if you do have them, write down the kind of numbers you had in 2020. You can do this later if you haven't got access to it straight away. But it's important to see. It is not the end of the world, by the way, if you don't have any social media followers, because it's not important. You want happy, engaged customers. Sometimes they just come from social media. It's just an awareness of it. Like I keep saying to myself, stop putting pressure on yourself. It's okay. Right. So moving on to page 5 in the planner, the bigger picture. This is when it gets exciting. Are you ready? I just love it. Okay. Work with me here. You'll like it. It's a bit much. I think some of you will not embrace this, but give it a go this year, and then next year you can skip it when we do this again. So I have done this every year for the last 6 years, normally because we're flying to visit my husband's parents. And normally we end up coming back just before New Year's Eve, and we get stuck in an airport, and the flight is always delayed, and I always have a couple of hours free. So that's what I do every year in an airport, in a cold, miserable, rainy airport. I write my diary as if it's the 31st of the end of the year. So for you, this will be the 31st of December 2021. And you want to imagine yourself, and you want to write about your amazing year. So I normally do, wow, what an amazing year that was. I'm stood on the balcony watching the fireworks in London, drinking a glass of probably, I want to say red wine, but the likelihood by midnight is a pint of lager, because I am that classy. And I can't believe I've had the most amazing year. This happened, something else happened, and I feel ... So you want to place yourself in a situation. You might be drinking Prosecco or cup of tea. It might not be midnight, but you want to put yourself in this situation. You want to say the amazing things. You want to say how it feels and really feel it. And the reason I went with a pint of lager rather than a glass of red wine is because it's realistic. And that's what you need to do here. And there's no point lying to yourself. Nobody will be checking this. So use that space. If you need more paper, grab some more paper. Hopefully you can still see me and hear me. You're all frantically writing, hopefully. I'd love to know what you're writing. I love this little bit. Give you a little bit of time to write about your new year. If anybody wants to share their new year 2021 plans, and I'd love to hear it. Obviously, we'll be all together, probably at a mass party. No coronavirus. Happy, hugging each other. Remember that? Hugging each other. It's going to be good. It's going to be a good end to the year, I hope. There's a thumbs up. That's very promising. Yes, we just got to stick it out a bit longer, quite a lot longer. It'll be fine. Just keep saying that over and over again, like I'm trying to convince myself. Oh dear. Oh dear. Anyway. Yes, pop a comment if you need any help or you need any advice or anything. And if you're enjoying it, let me know. Okay, so at the bottom of page 5, where do you see yourself on the 31st of December 2021 is exactly the same, but it's ways that you can look after yourself. So we're always focusing on business. I'm really good at that. I'm great at focusing on business, but my health and my mental health and all the things that are really important, it's so easy. Oh, hang on. Here's a question. Am I right? Okay. Okay, right. Am I writing as if it's the 31st December 2021? So writing about the year I'm hoping to, yes, as if it's happened, yes. So I'm just going to go back over it, sorry. It's because I got overexcited. You pick yourself up and you pop yourself on the 31st December, the end of this year, and you're sat, for me, I am stood and it's New Year and the bongs are bonging, and I'm having a drink and it's a New Year's party, and I imagine and I go, well done, Jess. I had a great year, and I'm celebrating the great year I've had, looking back, but also forward. So it's like you're ahead in the future. You're a year ahead in the future, and you are visualizing all the amazing things you have done and how you feel. And it's really important to get that feel. So you're in the future and you're imagining the year that you've had. You're imagining your whole 2021. And what you did and how great it was, because then it comes a bit more tangible and then you get to kind of feel how it's going to feel. So hopefully that made sense. I may have made it more confusing, but I'm hoping that makes sense. It's like a diary entry from the future. And then the bottom is exactly the same, but for your wellness goals or your health goals or your personal stuff. So if it's not business related, maybe you want to run a 10K, or maybe you want to change your diet, or maybe you just want to drink some water. Do that, write that, and it's exactly the same, and it's how you're going to feel. And yes, it's not to do with business, but health and wellness goals and business go hand in hand, especially if you're a sole trader, especially if you're running your own business, because if you burn out, or if you get sick, or if you are not as well as you could be because you haven't tried, not because of certain circumstances, but because you haven't tried and because you've let yourself be a little bit buggered, then that's a shame. And I think we have not a responsibility, it's a bit much, but I think as business owners, we've really got to look after ourselves. We need to be the best we can because we are doing so many things in our business. We have so many hats. If you've got children as well, that's a challenge. If you've got a partner on deployment, that's a challenge. Oh, look, Claire's here. Claire will agree. Yeah, you've got to give yourself the best possible chance to be as healthy as you can, because self-employment is tough and you're going to take a battering. So definitely, thank you very much, Jill. So definitely, give yourself the best foundation you can. Some of you might even want to book in, I'm going to have a holiday. That's my personal goal. Gosh, remember holidays and aeroplanes? They were fun. That's what I'm doing in my August. I've planned this already. In my August, I'm having a holiday. That is planned in and scheduled in, and it will happen. Anyway, so that should hopefully make sense. Well done for sticking with me. And I hope you're enjoying it. I'm having a great time. Just hidden away in my little Mary quarter. So, the next page, we are now on to page 6, the bigger picture. This is all about writing your main aims for 2021, using what you've learned from your review. So, in this space, you want to sort of refine your plans to write your goals for 2021. If you want to share them, you're very welcome to put them in the comments. I'd like to hear. I might share mine. I've got 5. I think I've got 5 or 6. And that normally has sprung from working out what I want to do. Amsterdam for my 40th and Paris for my husband's 30th. You will get there. Also, extra points for having a husband 10 years younger than you. Yeah, well done. I wonder who that is. I feel like I need to go and find out because it's not coming up as Facebook. It's not coming up with your name. Yes, I think it's a really fiddly one. Normally this is okay, but the pandemic has kind of caused a few problems. But maybe we can just dream a little bit and plan big. So in this space, I'm so glad that you appreciate that. I'm really worried you were going to get offended, but you didn't. Thank you so much. Your goals, and you can have as many goals as you want in this space with the lines, but you want to get them down to 5 because 5 is a good amount of chunky goals to get done. Any less, and it's a whole year you've wasted. Any more, and you'll just lose it. And I think 5 is a really good number. And they want to be chunky goals, and they want to be good goals, and they want to be goals that you're not frightened of, because you can do it. Believe me, you can do it. And I'm going to help you. It's going to be a good year. I promise. I mean, the political and the everything else is a bit. It's not good. But we can definitely do the best we can. And it is going to be a good year. I promise. It's amazing what you can do despite adversity. So hopefully by this point you should have your 5 big goals. If you have any problem, I think that's Emma. That must be Emma publishing a book. That's so exciting. That is a good goal. That is a big goal. And it's a really chunky goal that you can get your teeth into. I plan to launch a YouTube channel for people learning silversmithing. Brilliant. Do that. Now, actually, what you'd want to do is, rather than saying, I plan to launch a YouTube channel, you're going to say, in 2021, I am launching a YouTube channel. Or in 2021, my YouTube channel is online and it is called Silversmithing Extravaganza, or whatever you're calling it. Because you don't plan to launch a YouTube channel, you're going to launch it. And we're going to check on you. And we're going to make sure it happens. Figure out she is launching. Brilliant. Thanks, Chloe, you're putting your name. So somebody's going to figure out how to do wholesale and get stuff into 2 shops. No, you are going to do wholesale selling and you are going to get your stuff into... Well, 2 shops is good. If 2 shops is your goal, we'll go with 2 shops. But you're not going to figure out how to do it. You're going to do it because it's tangible then. It can be done. It will be done. Oh, I know who this is. Purchase a second kiln and have both fitted with chimneys so I can work whenever in my studio. Oh, I have a horrible feeling that if you don't have a chimney, it's going to do terrible things. So I'm glad. Perfect. Oh, it'd be nice and tasty, especially when the weather's miserable. Brilliant. Love that. So purchasing a second kiln is probably quite a big goal. And I know that it doesn't sound like it because you could just buy one, but you need your business to pay for that. So therefore you probably need to do X, Y, and Z to get the income to purchase that second kiln. But luckily I have the next task. Will help you break that goal down into smaller chunks so it's less intimidating. I'm gonna, honestly, does anybody want a cat? Maybe that's my goal for train the cats. Yes, Jill. Here, look, I can share this one. Look, it's like technology. My trade offering is more swept up and to be stocked in military museum shops. Brilliant, Jill. Love that. All of them. And we're going to help you do that because some of us must know people that run these shops. They're all ex-military, aren't they? Fab. Brilliant. So hopefully by now you've got your 5 bigger picture goals. So these are your 5 goals that you'll be working on throughout the year. And now they're going to be frightening because they're big ones. If it's, I'm going to learn out how to make a Facebook page, it's not big enough because that's a 10-minute job. And yes, you'll have achieved it, but oh, what a waste of a year. So there should be big, big chunky goals. I might share mine. I don't know if I'm a bit nervous to share mine. Should I share mine? I might share mine. They're all Milspo ones, actually. My poor design business. Oh, look. So somebody's struggling to get past, survive nearly a year of solo parenting. As a total of 10 months seems a bit daunting right now. Yes. I imagine this is to do with deployments. You want me to share my goals? Hang on, bear with. And deployments suck. And I imagine here, let me put my thingy so then I can go and check to see who's commented. Okay, yes, right. If it's to do with deployments, let me know. I imagine 10 months solo parenting is going to be rubbish. But deployment sucks. And I don't have children. So I can't come from a place of experience with having children, but I've lived through an awful lot of deployments and I have lived through an awful lot of military operations. And what I can say is that you're not by yourself. And I mean, you probably are physically by yourself, but women, probably partners, but majority of women have done this for hundreds of years and it sucks. And we all know it sucks, but it's been done. So you can do it too. In the same way that anything in business, you can do it too. You can get through deployment, you can get through 10 months of solo parenting, and it's going to be rubbish, and there will be tears and swearing and an awful lot of ice cream and an awful lot of kettle chips, or just crisps, just any old crisps, and chocolate, and shouting and crying. But you know what? It's 10 months, and then it'll be done. And you'll have done that, and you'll have learned so much from it. And even though now it looks so daunting and so rubbish and so annoying, deployments are so annoying, it's okay, and you can do it. And you just have to adapt around it. And I know that sounds a bit of a cop-out, but there's no choice in this. You are facing 10 months of solo parenting, and you can't unfortunately say no. That seems like the choice that's going to have to happen. So you can either jump up and down and hunker down, or you can go, okay, yeah, that sucks. 10 months sucks. But you know what? While we're doing that, and while I'm eating my body weight in chocolate or drinking wine or gin, I'm going to try and do this. And you know what? If my only goal this year is to survive 10 months of something that I haven't got a choice in, and I'm going to do it with in a happy way or in an optimistic way, then fair play. Then that is probably the best way you can do it, because we all know deployments suck and there's nothing we can do about it at all, which is the most annoying thing. Despite our ranting and raving, the amount of times I've told my husband he's not allowed to go, and yet he still disappears off with his passport and, you know, see you later. We just have to suck it up. There you go. Yes, there you go. Also, as somebody who has no children, is very, very lonely and has to keep getting cats to annoy me, I love those children and embrace them and add them and have them be the reason you're running a business, and have them help you in your business and inspire you. And when we do the vision board on Wednesday, they can be at top of your vision board. They can be the reason that you have this business and you run this business, because I'm sure they are. I'm sure for a lot of you, your family and the freedom that business brings you when you have a family, is a reason to do it. And I think there's definitely a lot of things you can do around 10 months of solo parenting. including lots of wine. Right. Should we go back to sharing this so I can show you? Okay, you wanted me to share my goals. Look, so one of them is obviously a series 5 for the podcast. The Business Boost Challenge was one of them. This is a big challenge for me. And the monthly goal thingies that I'm doing every month. That's 2 of them. There is going to be a shop. There's going to be a Milspo shop. And 2 other things that are too exciting to share. But they're all Milspo ones. And I have spent a lot of time breaking them into smaller sections, which is the next page. So I'm now on page 7. So you've got your big 5 chunky, scary, frightening goals. And you're definitely going to want to elaborate on this page eventually as the time goes on. But this is just to start you going. So if you are... So say like Emma, you're writing a book. You've decided in 2021 that you are writing a book. If you just sit down to write a book, you aren't going to get there. Thanks, Jill. Jill's excited about the Milspo shop. There's a little bit of delay on this. That's why I'm only just getting the comments. But if you sit down and you go, right, I'm going to write a book. And you're like, brilliant. Okay, let's write a book. And then you sit down and you go, here's my title. And then you sit there and you go, okay, that's all I have. There's an analogy that is used so many times in business workshops that you'll no doubt have heard. It's the analogy of traveling to Scotland, and you're living in London and you think one day, right, I'm going to drive to Scotland because apparently it's nice up there. I'm going to go and see the views. Might go and visit somebody who's in Lossiemouth. So you jump in your car and you set off to drive to Scotland. But that's not true. You don't do that. What you actually do is you make a plan and you get your sat-nav or you get your map and you work out where on earth Scotland is and how you're going to get there and where you're going to stop and how much petrol you need or how many miles you need in your car, what you're going to take. You're going to take any sweets, probably take some water, and you plan it out step by step, and then you can drive to Scotland. And the reason you can drive to Scotland is because what you've done is you've broken that massive goal into little tiny ones that are manageable. So let's take Emma's, I'm going to write a book. For an example, so Emma knows she's going to write a book. I know she's already started writing it, but let's pretend that she's not. And she's sitting down with her big... Oh, it's Helen. Helen wants to write a book. Right, so Helen's not written a book. And she sits down and she's like, okay, I want to write a book. I need to break it down into smaller chunks. Now, the process that I go through is I work backwards. So for me, I start at the end in the same way that I did my December 2021 amazing year. And I write or dream up or scribble down or draw or mind map the process that I have to do to write a book. And I do it backwards because it's easier for me to work backwards, but if you want to work forward. And all you need to do is to break that big goal into smaller chunks and then break those smaller chunks into even smaller chunks. And there's a little comment on the right-hand side of the page about Post-it notes. Love a Post-it note. And you might decide that tomorrow is the 12th of January and you're writing a book. And now that you've broken down your this big goal into tiny, tiny little chunky little Post-it note ones, you know that tomorrow, your one job for tomorrow is to decide on one thing in your book. So it might be, I'm going to write 60,000 words. Or on Fridays, I'm going to write all day. And Friday is my writing day. Or tomorrow I'm going to look to see if I can find a course online that helps me write a book. And that's all you have to do. And that's the one thing you have to do. It's not tomorrow I'm going to write a 60,000 word book. Tomorrow I'm going to do this one step towards the top of this goal, which is writing a massive book or writing a small book or writing whatever book you want. But it's just the next step. And you can break it down in all kinds of ways. So all of your goals will be able to be broken down like this. And if you're sat here thinking, yeah, that's great, Jess, but there's a global pandemic and I want to open a shop and I can't open a shop. No, but the first step in opening a shop is not putting a key in the lock and opening the shop. There's about 400 steps, tiny little steps that you go through before you get to the point when the government say, right, we are free to roam and hug each other and lick each other and do all those things and go to your shop. So you can do all the planning and all the little steps towards that. And I promise you, the Post-it notes one is a brilliant one. I do it every year. I break my massive goals into tiny little Post-it notes. And some days I just do things like send one email. Some days I might do an awful lot of stuff. But some days it's just the littlest thing to know that every day I'm working towards my goal, because that's really, really important. Right. That is the end. Tomorrow is day 2. So before I release my voice, that's what happens when you're a bit lonely and you don't talk to people. Is there anybody who has any comments or questions? Okay. Thanks, Suzanne. I hope it was useful. I think you've already done the reading ahead. If you have any questions, I hope that makes sense. I feel sometimes I'm just talking to myself, and it's really, I get ever so nervous that I'm saying the wrong things. But I hope that made sense. If you have any comments or questions, or if it didn't make sense, but fair play, you stuck around, then well done. But let me know, because I'm here and I'm waiting. And I'm happy to see so many people watching. This is, of course, recorded, so I'll share it in the group. Oh, good. I'm glad, Gillian. That was great. Thank you. Good. I'm glad it was. A lot of love went into this. So I hope that you're, not appreciating it. That doesn't sound right, but I hope that you're getting what you want to get out of it. And I hope that it's making a difference. So do a little bit of behind the scenes work on this and refine your goals and stick them up places. I've got all my goals here, and I've got some motivational quotes. They're all behind you. They're not very pretty. That's why I do video at this angle. If you do have any questions, let me know. I can tell you about tomorrow if you like. If you haven't got the workbook, then you're missing out. Download the workbook. If you can print it off, that's a bonus. But if you don't have it, do not worry. Oh, Chloe, I'm glad. Oh, good. I was really worried that everybody thought that because we were like a week into January, you might have lost your momentum a little bit. But actually, it's okay, because there's an awful lot of year left. And it's already been quite dramatic. So there's still time. So I'm glad. And hopefully it gets you a little bit excited about this year, because it's been an interesting start. So tomorrow is a new day for the Business Boost. Tomorrow we are talking about networking and how it's really, really important in business, the most important thing, and how you can make the most out of this Milspo network and by networking events, offline and online, when they can happen again. Yes, Abby, you're right. Last week would have been crazy. And also I was meant to be on holiday. We won't talk about that because it makes me sad. So I'm glad that we're doing it this week, because it's a lot more exciting. But tomorrow is all about networking and the importance of it and building it. So you're going to like it. It's got a lot of me talking, not too many activities. But it's kind of me explaining why networking is so important and what you can get out of a network. And I'll probably talk about Spanx again, like I did last year, which always throws people. So that is it for today. If you have any comments or questions, pop them in the chat. It's a little bit slow, so it's just catching up. I hope you found this useful. If you have any problems, do let me know. I hope you like my snazzy graphics that I've added to this video. No, it's been a long lockdown. Been keeping myself busy. I'll wait a few more seconds in case any questions or comments pop up. But if not, then definitely enjoy making your 5 goals for 2021 and breaking them down and adding them to your planner or your diaries, or generally to the walls in front of you. Let's fill your magnolia with stuff stuck on your walls. Right, well, take care. Oh, thanks, Claire. She loves the sassy graphics. Take care, look after yourselves. I will be back tomorrow at 11 a.m., not 3 p.m. Lots of things have popped up that shouldn't have. So unfortunately, I can't make 3 p.m., but it'll be 11 a.m. But don't worry, it is recorded. And I will be sharing it all, so you won't miss anything. And like I said at the very start, if you're picking this up later in the year then even better, because we will be checking in on his goals again and again. Alrighty then, take care, and I will speak to you soon.